Alright devs, today we're taking down one of the biggest boss fights in app development, the emulator. From setup to running real projects like a pro. No more slow boots, crashes, or lags. And yes, we're diving into the Google Fold Pro emulator for foldable devices. So buckle up, grab some coffee, and let's get started. Open Android Studio and go to Virtual Device Manager, as shown. Here's the list of all your installed emulators. Let's create a new one, real quick. Just follow the steps as shown. Now, the fun part. You get to pick your virtual device. Want a phone? A tablet? Maybe even a smartwatch? We're going with a phone for this demo, but feel free to explore the other options later. Choose your device and click Next, as shown. Awesome. Now, it's time to pick the brain of our emulator, the system image. You've got options like Android 15, Android 11, and so on. Think of this as choosing the OS for your virtual device. The newer, the better. So let's grab a solid version and keep moving. And if you haven't downloaded any system images yet, no worries. Just hit that download button, let it do its thing, and once it's ready, click Next like a king. Easy peasy, let's roll. Excellent. Now, let's dive into configuring our virtual device. This is where you can fine-tune the emulator settings to match your needs. You'll find options to adjust things like RAM, internal storage, startup orientation, and much more. Feel free to explore these settings to optimize your emulator's performance. But here's an important tip. If you selected a system image from the Recommended tab, you'll notice that some settings, particularly RAM, might be locked or unavailable for editing, as shown. This is because the recommended images are pre-configured for optimal performance on most systems. So, if you want complete control over your emulator's configuration, including RAM allocation, you'll need to choose a system image from one of the other tabs, such as x86 images or others. These tabs offer more flexibility in customizing your virtual device. Just remember that selecting a non-recommended image might require some adjustments to ensure smooth performance on your specific machine. So, if you need to tweak the RAM or other advanced settings, make sure to choose a system image from a tab other than recommended. Otherwise, the recommended images are generally a great starting point for most scenarios. Perfect. And finally, let's rename our emulator real quick. And once done, click Finish, as shown. And congratulations! You have successfully created your first emulator. But hold up, before you get too excited, we're not done yet. It's time to take that shiny new emulator and use it in a real project. And some killer tips and tricks to make sure it runs smoother than ever. Alright, here's where the fun begins. We've got a demo Flutter project open in VS Code, just like this. Now, let's get that shiny new emulator running. Down at the bottom bar of VS Code, you'll see a list of devices. Simply click there, and voila! It'll pop up a list of all the devices available on your system, whether it's a real device or an emulator. Let's find the one we just created, the Google Fold Pro emulator, and select it, as shown. Or press Ctrl+Shift+P for Windows, and Command+Shift+P for Mac, and search Flutter Select Device and choose from there, as shown. Bravo! You've successfully connected and run your emulator in VS Code. But hold your horses before you get too comfy. We've got some epic tips and tricks coming your way to make this emulator even more powerful. Plus, we'll dive into Android Studio for some extra magic. And don't forget, our emulator can fold too, just like the real deal. Check it out as shown. Now, let's quickly run our Flutter project in this emulator. Just hit the Run button as shown, and watch your project come to life on that shiny new emulator. And congratulations! We have successfully run our project on the emulator. Let's dive in Android Studio real quick. Open Android Studio project. Like here we have the same demo Flutter project we used in Xcode. Choose your device as shown and hit Run. Easy, right? Here's a killer tip for you. If your system starts to slow down when running the emulator, or if you're building a project for web or multiple device sizes, switch things up and select Chrome as your device for Flutter projects, just like we did here. Why? because using Chrome as a device puts less load on your system compared to running a full-blown emulator. It's faster, smoother, and way easier. And since Chrome doesn't require emulating a full OS, your build times are faster, letting you iterate quickly and get feedback in real time. And here's another cool pro tip. With Chrome, you can also use the Inspect tool to replicate how your app will look on mobile devices. It's super easy. Just right-click on the page, select Inspect, and then toggle the device toolbar, as shown. This lets you simulate different screen sizes and resolutions so you can see how your app behaves on devices like phones, tablets, and more. And that's a wrap for today's video. You've learned how to set up and run your emulator, optimize your workflow, and even use Chrome to test your projects faster and smoother. And hey, if you don't know how to set up Flutter yet, no worries. We've got you covered. Just check out the link in the description below for a quick and easy Flutter setup guide. You'll be up and running in no time. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe for more tech goodness, and leave a comment with any questions or tips of your own. Let's keep the conversation going. Stay tuned for more awesome tutorials, and until next time, happy coding. Catch you in the next one.